This video will share with you what ISO 14001 and ISO 14004 Clause 5, Leadership, are all about. To begin with, let us take a look at the history of ISO 14000 family. ISO 14001 was first introduced in 1996. It set some minimum requirements based on environmental policies and objectives that the organization needed to define. ISO 14001 was then strengthened in 2004 for broader compliance requirements and focused the organization on the aspects they can control and influence, and in 2015, it was harmonized with other ISO management systems that aim positive environmental outcome. ISO 14001 is an internationally agreed standard that sets out the requirements for an environmental management system. It helps organizations improve their environmental performance through more efficient use of resources and reduction of waste, gaining a competitive advantage and the trust of stakeholders. In other words, ISO 14001 expects the organization not only to include the prevention of pollution, but also protection of the environment. The ISO 14000 family comprises a number of standards that complement ISO 14001, and one of them is ISO 14004. ISO 14004 on the establishment, implementation, maintenance and improvement of an environmental management system and its coordination with other management systems. Malaysia adopted this standard with the implementation of MS ISO 14001, 2015 in year 2015 and MS ISO 14004, 2017 in year 2017. This video will focus on Clause 5 of ISO 14001 and ISO 14004, Leadership. There are 3 sections under this clause. 5.1, Leadership and Commitment. 5.2, Environmental Policy. 5.3, Organizational Roles, Responsibilities and Authorities. Let us check out the details of these 3 sections. Top management is defined in MS ISO 14001-2015 as the person or group of people who directs and controls an organization at the highest level. In a small organization, this may include the owner or partners and a few key people who report directly to them. The clause of 5.2 Environmental Policy in MS ISO 14001, 2015 emphasizes the organization's commitment to include the protection of the environment, along with the prevention of pollution. The environmental policy has some specific elements that are needed to meet the ISO 14001, 2015 requirements as following: appropriate to the organization, which the environmental policy needs to be appropriate to the environmental impacts of your activities. Continual improvement, which the environmental policy is expected to include a commitment to this concept of continual improvement in how your processes affect the environment. Prevention of pollution is a basic part of the policy is for your company to prevent pollution. Comply with legal and other requirements like Clean Air Acts, wastewater emissions or noise pollution laws. Set up framework for objectives and targets related to improving your impact on the environment, and these need to be consistent with your environmental policy. Documented, implemented and maintained in the management system that needs to be a written document. Communicated to all employees, whereby employees need to understand what the company policy is and how their work actions affect the environmental impacts of the company. Available to the public because the environmental policy is expected to be shared with anyone outside of the company who asks. Let's move to Clause 5.3 under MS ISO 14001, 2015, which is the organizational roles, responsibilities and authorities, where top management shall ensure that the responsibilities and authorities for relevant roles are assigned and communicated within the organization. Those involved should have a clear understanding of their role, responsibility and authority. Top management shall assign the responsibility and authority, known as management representatives, for ensuring that the environmental management system conforms to the requirements of this international standard, and reporting the performance of the environmental management system, including environmental performance, to top management. Under MS ISO 14004, year 2017, the guidelines is needed by top management to set an organization's mission, vision, and values considering its context, the needs and expectations of its interested parties, business and objectives. The intent of this requirement is to ensure that top management demonstrate leadership and commitment by taking an active role in engaging, promoting, and ensuring, communicating and monitoring the performance and effectiveness of the quality management system. If you want your quality management systems to be successful, you need management support. Without this support, the QMS will be overtaken by other priorities, and the benefits from using continual improvement to focus on customer needs will be lost. Furthermore, the role of top management is to inspire by leading by example. Last but not least, top management is expected to be hands-on, and to ensure that the quality policy and quality objectives are consistent with the overall strategy and context. In MS ISO 14004/2017, the organization should consider on its vision, mission, core values and beliefs, guiding principles, the needs and expectations of and communication with interested parties, the internal and external issues that are relevant to EMS, coordination with other organizational policies, the actual and potential effects on the organization's activities from external environment conditions. MS ISO 14004/2017 is the guidance on how to implement the requirements in MS ISO 14001/2015. It also gives examples of environmental management system roles and responsibilities, and who are the typical person that suit for the assigned task. Environmental management system responsibilities should not be seen as confined to the environmental function and can include other function within the organization. The resources provided by the top management should enable the fulfillment of the responsibilities assigned. The responsibilities and authorities should be reviewed when a change in structure of the organization occurs.
As a conclusion, Clause 5 on leadership provides us with guidance on how a certain organization demonstrates aspects such as leadership and commitments in relation to the environmental management system and its development, implementation and improvement.